The year is 2026. In the high-stakes world of global sports, there is a number that haunts every owner from New York to Abu Dhabi. That number is 1 billion. For decades, the billion-euro revenue mark was considered the Everest of football, a peak so high that no club could reach it without selling their soul to a private equity firm or a state-owned oil fund. But then came the 2026 Deloitte Money League report. For the third year in a row, Real Madrid didn't just reach the peak, they built a palace on top of it. With a record-shattering 1.161 billion euros in annual turnover, they have officially left the rest of the world behind. To put this in perspective, Manchester City, backed by an entire nation, dropped to 6th. Manchester United, the commercial kings of the 2000s, fell out of the top 5. While the giants of England and Germany are gasping for air, Real Madrid is breathing rarefied atmosphere. How did a club owned by its 100,000 members, a socio-system where fans have the final vote, outmuscle the billionaires? Today, we aren't talking about tactics. We are talking about the Florentino Perez blueprint. We are going into the backrooms of the new Bernabeu to uncover the calculated, cold-blooded business strategy that turned a football club into a sovereign financial empire. This is the secret history of the White House. To understand the empire, you have to understand the emperor. Florentino Perez isn't just a football president. He is the chairman of ACS, the largest construction company in Spain, with a personal net worth of over $2.5 billion. He doesn't look at a football pitch and see grass. He sees an asset. He doesn't look at a player and see a striker. He sees a brand. When Perez first took over in 2000, Real Madrid was in financial ruin. The club was drowning in debt. His first move, one of the most brilliant real estate plays in history. He sold the club's old training ground, the Ciudad Deportiva, to private investors for nearly 500 million euros. In 1 year, he wiped the debt and had the war chest to sign Luis Figo, Zinedine Zidane, and Ronaldo Nazario. But Perez knew that selling land is a one-time trick. He needed a sustainable engine. He realized that football fans aren't just fans, they are customers. He began treating the club like a professional corporation, focusing on 4 brand value drivers: audience size, engagement frequency, demographic quality, and the bridge between the fan and the brand. This was the birth of the Galácticos policy, not just to win games, but to capture the global attention market. If you want to know why Madrid is winning the war, look at the grass. Or rather, look at where the grass goes when the game is over. The 1.3 billion euros renovation of the Santiago Bernabeu is the single most ambitious architectural project in sports history. Before this, the stadium was a liability. It was a massive, expensive structure that sat empty 340 days a year. To a construction mogul like Perez, that was a financial sin. The new Bernabeu is a shapeshifter. By installing a world-first retractable pitch that stores the grass in an underground vault, Madrid can now host an NFL game on Saturday, a massive corporate summit on Monday, and a Champions League semifinal on Wednesday, all without ruining the turf. This isn't just cool tech, it's a transformation of the business model. In 2026, matchday revenue has reached 233 million euros, but it's the non-matchday events, the on-site breweries, luxury restaurants, and global concerts that are driving the growth. While other clubs are begging for TV rights, Madrid is generating over 1 million euros every single day from their own front door. They stopped being a sports team and started being a real estate developer that happens to play football on the side. The stadium is the engine, but the players are the fuel. However, Real Madrid doesn't sign players like other clubs do. They use a system called the 50-50 image rights split. When Kylian Mbappé or Jude Bellingham signs for Real Madrid, they are usually asked to give up 50% of their future endorsement income to the club. To a normal player, this sounds like a trap, but to a superstar, it's an investment. Why? Because the Real Madrid multiplier is real. A player might have 10 million followers and a few local sponsors before they arrive. But once they wear the white shirt, they become a global icon. Their reach triples. Their sponsorship value explodes from 5 million euros to 50 million euros. Even with the 50% cut, the player makes far more money than they ever could at a club like Manchester City or PSG. For the club, this is pure profit. Real Madrid generates hundreds of millions in commercial revenue, which hit 594 million euros in the latest report, partly because they own a piece of the fame of every man in the locker room. They don't just pay salaries, they own equity in the biggest names in the world. The biggest threat to this empire isn't on the pitch, it's the English Premier League and its bottomless pool of TV money. To survive, Madrid had to become the most efficient value seekers in the market. While clubs like Chelsea spent billions on panic buys, Madrid shifted to a youth and free agent strategy. They signed world-class leaders like Antonio Rudiger and David Alaba for free. They secure superstars like Kylian Mbappé on free transfers. This allows them to avoid transfer fees and instead offer higher signing bonuses, keeping their balance sheet clean. Furthermore, their scouting has become Galácticos too. Instead of buying the finished product for 200 million euros, they buy the next big thing for 40 million euros. Vini Jr., Rodrigo, Camavinga, and Endrick were all bought before they became global household names. This value investing has allowed Madrid to keep their wage bill at a healthy 43% to 48% of revenue, whereas rivals are suffocating at 70%. They have created a closed-loop system. The money from the stadium pays for the young stars. The young stars win the trophies. The trophies increase the brand value. The brand value attracts the sponsors. The sponsors pay for the next stadium upgrade. It is a perpetual motion machine of wealth. As we look toward the 2026-27 season, the secret empire is no longer a secret. Real Madrid is currently facing its own success. Expenses are rising as they manage the debt from the stadium, and the wage bill has climbed 16% in the last 6 months. But Perez remains unfazed. He is currently looking at private equity, opening the club to institutional investors to raise another 1 billion euros by selling a tiny minority stake. This move is designed to value the club at a staggering 10 billion euros, making them a decacorn in the business world. Florentino Perez once said, "Real Madrid does not belong to anyone but its members." And by making the club financially invincible, he has ensured that it stays that way for the next century. They have outmuscled the oil money, outsmarted the hedge funds, and outplayed the legends. The white jersey isn't just a symbol of football royalty anymore. It is the symbol of the most successful business model in the history of human competition. If you want to see the blueprints of how the world's most powerful brands are built, you're in the right place. Subscribe to Rise Zone for a deep dive into the business of greatness every single week. I'm invisible. Thanks for watching.